Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whichever part of the world you are in right now. So if you are attending this live, why did you drop me a message? Let me see if you are on live. I would like to see you. I'd like to see who all are there. And this is a new series I'm talking right now. I'm starting with a new series altogether. It's a series on growth. A lot of you were asking me. I mean, when I was doing live sessions, every week I do session in Zoom. I do session in radio. A lot of you were asking me, I mean, why can't we have small bites, chunks of session of 10 minutes, 15 minutes? So this is my initiative to start a session every day around 9 p.m., Monday to Friday, where I'll come up with the topic on growth, which can help you to grow. So if you are attending nothing else, if you're not part of our growth program yet, I would like to invite you that be part of our growth program, because until you are in associated with a growth organization, there's no way you can grow. So let me start with basically what I'm going to do for this month is I will take 15 minutes and talk about one topic on personal growth, because potential is one such word which creates hope in our life, right? Isn't it? It creates optimism. The moment you say somebody is having potential, how do you feel? You feel excited, isn't it, that something great could happen. There's always a possibility. But just having potential cannot help us grow in our life. Potential eventually has to start rolling. It's like you have to convert into kinetic energy. Just potential cannot help you grow in your life. And how do you convert this potential energy to kinetic energy? Is by certain impetus, certain momentum, and that has to come from an external source. Until you are in an association which is promoting growth, you will not grow. Growth is not automatic. In fact, John Maxwell always says this: anything which is worthwhile is always uphill. I mean, you cannot get good things downhill. It's impossible. Downhill comes automatically. You don't have to prepare for it, isn't it? The only thing you have to prepare for is uphill. And for that, you need a lot of effort. The first thing I'll give you is how do you do it? The way it will be like this: if I talk about the 7 parameters which you have to focus, if you have to focus on your converting to potential energy to kinetic energy, the first thing you will need is self-awareness. Now, what is self-awareness? I do a lot of coaching sessions. I do one-on-one coaching with executives, with top level CEOs. I sit and do executive coaching with them. And the most difficult thing in our discussion is always about vision, is always about possibilities. It's self-awareness. And when it comes to self-awareness, many a times it takes me 2 to 3 sessions of more than an hour to find out what is actually their potential, where can actually they shine, what is their niche, what can this grow in. The first thing I always recommend them, if you are not sure that where you can shine, then I'll tell you, career impact assessment. I always recommend somebody career impact assessment for them, and it's an assessment which is around of 100 questions. It can give you a clear picture that where can you shine, what is your potential, how, which areas can you grow. Now if you talk about me, I have experimented a lot of careers. If you have never heard me till now, so let me give a little bit background of myself. I did my engineering in 2002 from a college of repute, UC Burla in Orissa. And after that, I was an electrical engineer. Market was down and I have done job for some time. Then I went for IIT to do my master's in microelectronics and VLSI. Ideally, I should be a VLSI engineer working in some of the chip designing company. That's what I should do as a VLSI engineer. But if you talk about, I have left that industry since 2014. It's now seventh year. I don't do job. How did this transition happen? And why did it happen at the first place? It happened when that awareness came, which I'm talking about self-awareness. It happened one day, I started listening to my inner voice. Have you observed there's an inner voice which always comes and says, something is not good. Your calling is calling you actually. That voice is calling you. But what happens is, when we don't listen to this voice, because there's a lot of noise around us, we don't listen to that voice. Despite that, you see there's a gap. You don't connect. You don't know what, but some voice is coming. This is not what I want. No, this is not what I want. It was exactly happening that. So then I started realizing probably something is missing here. I don't know what was that puzzle. there were some pieces of puzzles were missing, and I was blessed. I came across, I mean, they say, right, when the student is ready, teacher appears, just like that. Same thing happened with me. The teacher appeared. I came across John Maxwell team, and I started meeting them. I met with a coach, and he said, "Ben, why didn't you do this career impact assessment?" I did it. And it was a 40-page exhaustive report. And once I read that report, I started realizing that my real strength is not in technology. My real strength is in leadership. My real strength is in inspiring people. My real strength is somewhere else in people development. My strength is there. Though I am an IITian, though I am having electronics degree, but somewhere something will be missing. What is that missing? I don't know. So there was a confusion, chaos happened, and I started doing it. So first thing comes self-awareness. Now this itself is a detailed subject, and if you have not gone through, you should go through my podcast. Search in Spotify, or you can go to any of this podcast which you're using. I did a series on identifying your purpose. Go through that. That can definitely help you out. And that series can help you out. All right. So once you get a self-awareness, the first step you need is self-awareness. Second step you will need is you have to grow your character. Now, what is character? It's a very complicated term. In a simplified term, if I talk about what is character, for me, it will be like this. If you take an assignment and you complete it, that is a strong character. You're a person who finishes things strong. Starting things are very easy. Starting is very easy thing to do. Isn't it true? You see a lot of people start a lot of things. But finishing it strong is a character for me. What you say and what you do, if it matches, you have a good character. Third thing which will require, so first one you need self-awareness. Second, you have to grow in your character. Once you grow in your character, third thing you will need, find out which area you want to grow and work on the skill sets. So the day I got an awareness, I'm meant for leadership, I'm meant for communication, I'm meant for people development. Then question come, do I have the skill set? At that point in time, I didn't have. If you ask me, nobody taught me. I didn't read in IIT leadership principles. I didn't read IIT how to lead voluntary organizations. No, nobody taught me this. I was trained in the area of circuit designing. So I was a great at that, by the way. But beyond that, no. Then I realized there was a big challenge now. On one side, there are certain interests which I have, but skill set wise I don't have. That is my interest, but skills are not there. Then I felt probably I should let go my dream because skill sets are already there in technology. This is the biggest gap you will face in your life because you will feel that, man, I have invested my 5 to 10 years in developing this technology or this knowledge. It doesn't matter. Probably this is a comfort zone. And this is where a big challenge will come. That your dream will call you to do certain things and you may not have those skill sets. And then again, you become a fresher. And the feeling of a fresher is really a dual feeling. On one side, you feel excited to learn something new. On another side, you feel, man, I do not know. I don't have that awareness. I have to learn everything. And that feeling keeps creating this confusion. And I have gone through that feeling. So then I realized the third thing you need is skill sets. What skill sets are required? The fourth thing you will need in this personal assessment to transition that potential to a kinetic energy, the fourth thing you will need is relationships. Now they say, right, your life is an outcome of two things. The people you meet with, hang out with, and the books you read. That will decide your future. And when I say relationship, I started realizing that I have to develop new relationships. I have to meet somebody who is having personal growth as their first priority than anything else. And I started meeting up. I started meeting John Maxwell team. I started meeting all other people who were really focused on growth. And I started reading books. First time in my life, when I left IIT in my home, there are hundreds of books on circuit designing, on solid state physics, on analog design, on digital design. And then I said, that's great. These are good books. But now I think I have to increase in my library some other books. And I came across some wonderful books. And I'll talk about one of the series in this week, that which books can help you transform and why they will transform. So I came across certain books. And then I started developing relationship with books, and I started developing relationship with people, new growth-oriented people. And that was a new friend circle for me. After that, once you understand this, then you'll also need knowledge of money. They all say, right, money is not important. So money is not important if you have the money. That's for sure. So then I have to learn. I started reading some finance books also, basic finance. Obviously, I was not a chartered accountant. I was not MBA in finance. But basic knowledge is required. What is asset? What is liability? So these whole things which I'm talking about is nothing but your wheel of life. In my coaching circle, when I start, there are 8 parameters of the wheel of life. And once you can balance this wheel of life, then you will see a magical difference start happening in your life. So, how do you do it? So, let me summarize and let me recap for our today's discussion, and then I'll talk more about it tomorrow, same time, 9 p.m. So, what I said is first thing, we all have potential. The moment we hear this word potential, it creates hope, it creates excitement, it has a lot of things into it. It is possibility. But possibility alone cannot help you until you transition this potential energy into kinetic energy. Now, how do you do it? So, for that, you need these 7 parameters which I covered right now. What I said first, the first and foremost thing is you need to know who you are. If you do not know who you are, how will you reach your potential? Not possible, isn't it? So, how do you know yourself? The first thing you can do, if you do not know yourself, drop me a message and let's talk. I'll help you out with career impact assessment. That's an amazing assessment. Once you go through it, it can give a crystal clear picture about you. And trust me, if you can know yourself, you can save yourself years and years and years of hard work. That's for sure. Then, once you know your awareness is there, then develop a character of completing certain things. Starting something and finishing something are two different subjects altogether. And until you merge these two chapters, you will not succeed. Isn't it true? So that's the second thing you need. Third thing you need, once you develop that, you will need certain skill sets. So once you get an awareness of who you are and what you need, there are skill sets also required. So once you have that, the third thing will be skill sets. And once you have skill sets, the fourth thing you'll need is relationships. People, because your life is an outcome of the people you meet and the books you read. That's what it is. So you need to develop new relationships. And I started finding new relationships. I started finding growth atmosphere. I mean, wherever growth associations started happening, I started plugging myself. I was associated with growth-oriented people. I started investing money. If you want to see whether you are growing or not growing, just do one simple assignment. Right now, go and check your last 5 months credit card bill and check the transactions. How much money was spent on your growth and how much money was spent on groceries or other items. You will be surprised. In my experience of coaching and mentoring people do not even invest 1% of their income on their personal growth. Needless to say that our potential energy is just potential. So to convert that potential to kinetic, you should invest minimum 5 to 10% of your income on your personal growth. And that is the best investment you can do on your life. Isn't it true? So then develop relationship. Once you develop relationship, you have to also understand how money works. Little bit knowledge in that. And that's where this entire wheel of life comes into picture. It was great talking to you. And I'm sure if you have some questions, I would like to take few questions. Let's see who all are there. So there's somebody's question. I think some of them are there having questions. Vinay is there, live watching live. Raghavendran is there. Hi Vikas. Vikas is also there. Raj is there. Hi Raj. I can see Barun also there. Thank you so much. Jocelyn also there. Nice. So it was great talking to all of you. We'll meet up again tomorrow, same time, 9 p.m. And if you have any questions, drop me and I'll see if I can take some questions tomorrow. It was great talking to you. Thank you so much.